Hello my Buzz Buddies. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about therapeutic practices and ways that in any kind of practice in your life you can use it to ground yourself and center yourself and feel good about other things. I've been in therapy for about 2 years now, and I started going for anxiety purposes and just helping myself try to understand my feelings and why I'm feeling certain ways and what to do in the moment when things happen that I don't expect. Even before I started talking this stuff through, I had been interested in the concept of mindfulness, which is just the idea of being aware of your feelings in the moment. That's all it is. You can apply this kind of filter, this kind of lens to any situation you're in. You can apply it just by sitting there. You can apply it to a meditation practice. For me, I like to apply it to my music practice for many reasons. One of them being I find myself listening more carefully to other things and other goings on around me. And I also find that I'm listening to the sound coming from me as well. And I'm paying attention to not only the sounds that I'm making, but how I move when I play those sounds. How do I communicate to other people what's going on, and making sure that things are going smoothly and the communication's happening. Ultimately, music making is about communication, whether it's a conductor communicating to their band, or it's the person next to me in the section communicating about how to play something, or a solo musician connecting and communicating with an audience. It helps me to use the concept of mindfulness to get there. So whatever format through which you practice mindfully, whether it be music or meditation or exercise or whatever it is that you're doing, I'm going to highly recommend that you do it very consistently, if not daily. And I know that's really hard for those of us who work full-time. In fact, I wish I could practice daily, but sometimes I just can't. But I try to as much as I can, no matter how I'm feeling that day. The reason for that is that when I practice, I'm building habits with every aspect of how I play. I'm building habits of how I hold myself and how I play the notes, how to think about the sound. You want to practice those habits that you're trying to build when you're feeling really, really good, and also when you're not feeling so good. When you're feeling like, today was a really rough day, I don't know if my mind is going to be in this today. You just have to do it anyway. Because even though it's a grind, the payoff is very rewarding because you're able to do so much more than you could before. You just give it some time and you let yourself feel really bad sometimes, and you let yourself be really bad sometimes. Just understand that it's happening and maybe why and what is in your control to help make it better. Sometimes there aren't a lot of things you can do. There's always something you can do. wanted to address the topic of mindfulness today in my practice. The first reason has to do with my work. Ever since I started working in my current district, I have been working to incorporate mindfulness techniques in my band classes. Why? Mostly because band is a situation where everyone is uncomfortable all the time and everyone is kind of trying to figure things out. And there's a lot happening, especially beginning band, where everyone has a brand new instrument in their hands. Nobody knows what's going on. There is no normal. There's nothing that is guiding students as to how to be and how to think. So I started teaching mindfulness techniques to my beginning band classes, just in the form of noticing your body and sitting in your chair, closing your eyes, noticing your breath, noticing where things are uncomfortable and where they're comfortable. Gradually we would move on to let's play one long note together. Notice when it sounds really good, when it feels really good, when does it feel bad. Inviting students to take note of these things. Superficially, it yields pretty good results. I mean, I had students a couple of years ago play a long tone scale, and the very last note had such beautiful intonation. It was just right on, like I think it was maybe 6 or 7 kids, not a whole lot of kids, but all 6 of them were playing really in tune. It was locked in, and I said, what felt special about that last note? Did you notice something special about that last note? And one student said, it felt like the calm sea. That I wanted to address mindfulness in practice, and the reason that I mentioned my therapy session yesterday, is because I am finally starting to come to terms with the fact that I have some limitations, and they are physical and real. In the process of getting back to work, my shoulder has been very sore. I got shoulder surgery in December, in case you didn't know. When I'm playing my trumpet or my flugelhorn, I am compensating a lot by bringing my left arm forward. The left arm is really what takes the weight of the instrument, and I feel like I'm unconsciously overcompensating, and it's making that arm hurt too. So I'm still dealing with that pain and that kind of management of that old injury. Emotionally, I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety. Like I've always intellectually understood this, but intellectually understanding something, sometimes your heart still doesn't believe it. So I think I've understood that I have limitations before, but I haven't been okay with it for a long time. And I'm finally starting to process that it's going to be all right. The way that I used to manage my anxiety before, because it manifests itself very physically, I used to run a lot, and I used to do yoga to get that meditative practice in. But I can't do those things, and I can't just rely on, yes, I'm gonna go for a run right now. It's something that I have to build up again, and it's not something that I have the capacity for right now. Understanding that has been very helpful. Being kind to myself in light of that has been very helpful. There are so many well-intended people that will give me advice about what I can do for my body to maintain balance, and it always includes something like, oh, just do some downward dog, or just do this or that. And they don't understand that I can't do those things right now. I'm no longer able to hold myself or my body weight on my arms. Even just reaching my arms forward to type on a keyboard is very, very taxing for me, and it's hard. It's really hard. I engage in a mindful practice when I practice music because that kind of thinking transfers over to other areas of life. You know what I mean? So when I give my students those tools for understanding how they feel, or at least just noticing how they feel, I'm hoping that they transfer those skills to other areas of their life where they're going to need them. So because of how I'm feeling today, I think I'm going to end my practice there. It's been very helpful for me to talk this through, and I really appreciate you listening. Please let me know in the comments if you're interested in more ideas on how to practice mindfulness, not just in music, but in your life, because I have many tools in my toolkit for that. So in the meantime, stay mindful, stay musical, and stay out of trouble.